Have you ever wondered why, despite your best efforts, things just don't seem to align the way you want them to? You've tried visualization, positive affirmations, and the law of attraction. Yet, it seems like your life is stuck in the same loop. What if I told you that the way you're thinking is the reason nothing's changing? That your thoughts, your emotions, and the very way your mind is wired could be the ultimate factor in whether you see change in your life or continue to see the same old patterns? Forget the law of attraction for a moment. There's something even more powerful at work. And it's been inside of you all along, waiting for you to tap into it. This is the science of becoming someone new. In this journey, we'll unlock the fast-track path to transformation, a method that's 1,000 times faster than any other. Through understanding the deep connection between your mind, your emotions, and the quantum field that surrounds you. To understand how you can truly shift your reality, we must first explore the science of your mind, because the transformation begins at the deepest level, the brain. Neuroscience has uncovered powerful insights into how your brain functions, and by understanding how it operates, we can start to comprehend why change feels difficult and how to rewire the brain to create lasting transformation. The human brain, contrary to what many may believe, is not some mystical or abstract entity. Instead, it's a tangible organ, one that is a direct reflection of your past, your experiences, and the environment in which you've lived. Every thought, every feeling, and every action you've ever taken is stored within your brain, creating a detailed record of who you are, how you behave, and what you believe. This means that your brain is essentially a living artifact of your experiences, memories, and habits. Every time you wake up, go about your day, and follow the same routine, your brain is reinforcing its existing wiring. You wake up, brush your teeth, eat breakfast, check your phone, drive to work, see the same people, and encounter the same daily triggers. These activities don't require much thought because they are stored in your brain as habitual processes. Your brain has learned to automatically carry out these tasks based on repetition. But this automaticity comes with a catch. The more you repeat these tasks without changing your mindset, the more your brain reinforces the patterns and neural pathways associated with these activities. The brain, in essence, becomes trapped in a loop of predictability, where it knows nothing beyond what it has already experienced. The neural circuits that fire in your brain each day are directly tied to your environment. If you live in an environment that doesn't challenge you, that doesn't encourage growth, then your brain will simply fire the same circuits it's always used. You're effectively living on autopilot. Your thoughts, actions, and emotions become so automatic that your brain doesn't have to put in any effort to create a response. But here's the problem. If you keep doing the same thing every day, can you really expect to experience something different? The answer is no. The brain isn't wired to bring about transformation. It's wired to maintain stability, repeat patterns, and stay within the bounds of what's familiar. To change your life, you must first change your thinking. But changing your thinking requires more than simply deciding to have a positive thought now and then. It involves a complete shift in how you engage with your environment, how you think about yourself, and how you view the possibilities for your future. The key to breaking the cycle of repetition and stagnation lies in the concept of thinking greater than your environment. This means going beyond the automatic thought patterns that have been conditioned into you by years of repetition. It means rejecting the limitations imposed by your environment, by your past, and by your current reality. One of the most powerful examples of this principle in action comes from history's greatest leaders. Think of people like William Wallace, Mahatma Gandhi, and Martin Luther King Jr. These individuals did not accept the world as it was. They had a vision for what it could be. Their vision was so vivid, so strong, that it drove them to take bold actions, even in the face of extreme adversity. They thought in ways that transcended the limitations of their environment, and it was this way of thinking that allowed them to create remarkable change. For instance, Gandhi didn't just envision independence for India. He imagined it so deeply that he lived as though it was already a reality. He didn't wait for the circumstances to align. He aligned his thoughts, actions, and beliefs with the outcome he wanted to manifest. His thoughts were not dictated by the external environment. They shaped the environment around him. This idea of thinking greater than your environment is essential if you want to make lasting changes. It's about believing in a future that doesn't yet exist, imagining a life that hasn't yet unfolded, and doing everything in your power to act in alignment with that vision, despite current conditions. At the core of your ability to create change is understanding the relationship between your personality and your reality. Your personality, according to neuroscience, is the sum total of how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. Your personality is the lens through which you view the world, and it dictates how you respond to the challenges and opportunities that life presents. Here's where it gets fascinating. Your personality is not static. It's a dynamic system that is constantly evolving. The only problem is that most people fail to evolve. They remain stuck in their old ways of thinking, feeling, and acting because they're operating from a deeply ingrained identity, an identity formed by years of habitual thinking, repetitive actions, and familiar emotions. Your thoughts shape your emotions, and your emotions shape your thoughts. This creates a feedback loop that sustains the cycle of your personality. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you caught yourself having the same negative thoughts, feeling the same emotions, or behaving in the same ways? Perhaps it's a thought like, "I'm not good enough," or an emotion like frustration that arises when things don't go as planned. When these thoughts and emotions are repeated over time, they form the bedrock of your personality. Now, if you want to change your reality, you need to change this foundation. You need to become a new version of yourself, a version that aligns with the future you want to create. But this doesn't happen by simply wishing for change. It requires rewiring your brain, altering the thought patterns that shape your actions, and shifting the emotional states that fuel your behavior. The first step in this process is to recognize that you cannot create a new reality by remaining the same person you were yesterday. If you keep thinking, feeling, and acting in the same ways, you will continue to get the same results. To create a new reality, you must take on a new personality, one that aligns with your vision for the future. The process of rewiring your brain begins with changing your thoughts. But it's not just about thinking positively or visualizing success. It's about creating new neural connections in your brain. Neuroscientists have discovered that the brain is highly plastic, meaning it has the ability to change and adapt throughout life. This is known as neuroplasticity. When you learn something new, whether it's a fact, a skill, or a behavior, you create new neural connections in your brain. These connections form new pathways that allow you to think, feel, and behave differently. The more you repeat these new thoughts and behaviors, the stronger these neural connections become, and eventually, they replace the old, limiting patterns that no longer serve you. To make lasting change, you must consistently engage in practices that promote neuroplasticity. This might involve learning new things, stepping outside of your comfort zone, or practicing new habits and behaviors that align with your desired identity. For example, if you want to develop the personality of someone who is confident, you must think and behave like a confident person. This could involve practicing self-affirmations, taking on challenges that push your boundaries, and consciously choosing to act with confidence, even when you don't feel it. The more you engage in these new patterns, the more your brain will rewire itself. Over time, your new thoughts, emotions, and behaviors will become your new personality, and your reality will begin to shift accordingly. One of the most powerful tools in rewiring your brain is learning how to manage your emotions. Emotions are not just abstract feelings. They are deeply connected to your physical body. Neuroscientific research has shown that emotions create specific chemical reactions in the brain that can affect your thoughts and behaviors. When you experience positive emotions, such as joy or gratitude, your brain releases chemicals that make you feel good and encourage positive thinking. Conversely, negative emotions like fear, anger, or sadness can release chemicals that lead to negative thought patterns and reinforce the old, limiting ways of thinking. To rewire your brain, you must learn how to cultivate positive emotional states, even in the face of adversity. This doesn't mean suppressing negative emotions. Rather, it means recognizing them, understanding their source, and choosing to shift into a more empowering emotional state. Practices such as meditation, mindfulness, and gratitude can help you regulate your emotions and create the positive emotional states necessary for transformation. To put this all into practice, here are a few steps you can take to begin rewiring your brain and creating lasting change. Challenge your current thought patterns. Pay attention to your automatic thoughts. Are they empowering or limiting? When you notice negative thoughts, replace them with more positive and empowering alternatives. Step out of your comfort zone. Doing the same thing every day will keep you stuck in the same reality. To break free, challenge yourself to try new things, take on new experiences, and embrace discomfort as a sign of growth. Cultivate new habits. Start small and commit to building new habits that support your desired reality. Whether it's exercising, practicing gratitude, or developing a new skill, consistency is key. Use visualization techniques. Visualize the person you want to become. See yourself already living the life you desire. Feel the emotions that come with that vision and allow them to become a part of your daily reality. Regulate your emotions. Practice emotional intelligence by learning to identify and manage your emotions. Meditation, deep breathing, and mindfulness can help you stay grounded and focused on the present moment. By consistently applying these practices, you can begin to rewire your brain, shift your personality, and ultimately create a new reality. The science is clear, change is possible, and it starts within the mind. In our journey toward transformation, there's a critical tool that can dramatically shift the course of our lives: mental rehearsal. This practice is far beyond simple visualization. It's about priming your mind and body for the life you want to create. Mental rehearsal is a potent technique that essentially prepares your brain for success, making your desired outcomes feel as though they've already occurred. In this process, you train your brain to act as though the future is already here. By engaging in mental rehearsal, you start to wire your mind and body for the success you desire, long before it physically manifests in the material world. To understand the power of mental rehearsal, let's dive into the neuroscience behind it. The brain is a remarkable organ, constantly adapting and rewiring itself in response to what it experiences. This concept is known as neuroplasticity. It refers to the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections in response to learning, experience, or new practices. When you engage in mental rehearsal, you're actively reinforcing neural pathways that align with your desired future. Imagine this. When you vividly imagine an event, your brain processes those thoughts as if they were real, releasing the same chemicals and electrical activity as if the event were actually happening. The more you rehearse an event mentally, the more the brain starts creating the neural structures that would be needed to support that event in real life. In other words, the act of mentally rehearsing success builds the neurological foundation for that success to manifest in the real world. Let's break it down with a simple example: athletes. Many professional athletes, such as Olympic gold medalists or top-tier tennis players, use mental rehearsal before their big games. They mentally practice their moves, their strategies, and even their emotional responses to different situations. Studies have shown that this kind of mental practice significantly enhances their performance when they hit the field, track, or court. Their brain has already been primed to react in a certain way, enabling them to execute with precision when the moment arrives. Now that we've established how mental rehearsal shapes the brain, let's talk about how this influences our feelings. As we know, thoughts and emotions are intricately linked. When you think differently, you feel differently. In fact, your thoughts directly influence the chemical makeup of your brain, which then sends signals to the rest of your body. These chemicals trigger emotional responses, which, over time, become so ingrained in your body that they can shape your behavior and outlook on life. For instance, consider how your body responds to stress. When you think about a stressful situation, whether it's a looming deadline or a difficult conversation, your body reacts by producing cortisol, the stress hormone. This hormonal response activates your fight or flight response, triggering physical sensations like a racing heart or shallow breathing. Conversely, positive thoughts generate chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, which promote feelings of joy, calm, and well-being. When you engage in mental rehearsal, you are intentionally creating thoughts and feelings that align with your desired outcomes, enabling you to wire your body to experience positive emotions that match your new way of thinking. This process requires consistency and patience, but over time, your body will begin to recognize the emotional state that aligns with your mental rehearsal, reinforcing your vision for the future. As you continue to practice mental rehearsal, the ultimate goal is to recondition your body to feel the emotions that correspond with the thoughts you want to think. This is where things get particularly fascinating. Our bodies don't just store physical memories, they also store emotional ones. The more you repeat an emotion, whether it's anxiety, joy, frustration, or excitement, the more your body becomes conditioned to feel that emotion in response to certain thoughts or experiences. This emotional conditioning is why old habits can be so hard to break. For instance, if you've lived with chronic stress or negative thinking for years, your body has learned to react to the world in a way that aligns with those emotions. It's as if your body is programmed to automatically feel stressed, anxious, or angry, even in situations that don't warrant those emotions. This is what makes shifting your emotional state so challenging, but also so powerful. Through mental rehearsal, you can begin to break these emotional patterns. By thinking thoughts that align with the future you want and consistently imagining yourself in positive, empowering situations, you retrain your body to experience those new emotions. Over time, your body becomes accustomed to feeling calm, empowered, and focused, making it easier to navigate challenges without reverting to old emotional responses. One of the most profound aspects of mental rehearsal lies in the concept of the quantum field. This field, often described as a realm of infinite potential, responds to your state of being. Your state of being, which is a combination of your thoughts and emotions, sends out energy into the world. This energy then interacts with the quantum field, attracting situations, people, and opportunities that match the frequency of your thoughts and feelings. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you adjust the dial, you tune into a specific frequency. Similarly, your thoughts and emotions emit a frequency into the world, and the quantum field responds by matching that frequency with experiences that align with it. If your thoughts and feelings are aligned with positivity, abundance, and success, the field will respond by bringing opportunities that match those frequencies. However, if your internal state is riddled with fear, doubt, and negativity, the field will attract more of those experiences. This interaction between your internal state and the external world is a powerful reminder that you don't have to wait for the world around you to change before you change your circumstances. You can begin shifting your reality right now by altering your state of being. Mental rehearsal plays a crucial role in this process, as it helps you cultivate a state of being that is aligned with your ideal future. Mental rehearsal isn't just a theoretical concept. It's something that has been applied successfully by many individuals across various fields. Let's look at a few real-life examples where mental rehearsal has played a pivotal role in someone's success. Athletes. As mentioned earlier, mental rehearsal is widely used in sports psychology. A great example is the case of professional basketball players who use mental rehearsal before games. For instance, studies have shown that athletes who mentally rehearse their game-winning shot, the feeling of making a basket, and the crowd's reaction are more likely to perform successfully when it counts. This practice helps them overcome pressure and execute with confidence because their brain has already experienced the moment. Entrepreneurs. Many successful entrepreneurs engage in mental rehearsal to envision their future businesses. One such entrepreneur, Elon Musk, has shared that he spends time visualizing his desired future before embarking on new projects, from space exploration to electric cars. By mentally rehearsing success and visualizing the challenges he might face, Musk primes himself to navigate obstacles with a mindset that expects to succeed. Performers. Actors and musicians also use mental rehearsal to perform under pressure. Take famous musicians, for example. Before going on stage, they mentally rehearse their performances, walking through each note, gesture, and facial expression. This practice helps them reduce anxiety, improve their focus, and deliver a performance that aligns with their vision, even when they're under pressure. Now that we understand the science and real-life applications of mental rehearsal, how can you begin to incorporate it into your life? Define your desired outcome. The first step in mental rehearsal is clarity. You need to know exactly what you want to achieve. Whether it's a new job, a healthier lifestyle, or a successful business venture, be specific about what your desired outcome looks like. The clearer you are about your goals, the more effective your mental rehearsal will be. Create a detailed mental script. Once you have a clear vision, begin to create a mental script. This script is a detailed narrative of what success looks like for you. Imagine yourself already living the life you desire. What does it feel like? What are you thinking? Who are you with? The more details you include, the more vivid your mental rehearsal will be. Rehearse daily. Consistency is key when it comes to mental rehearsal. Set aside time each day, whether it's in the morning, during lunch, or before bed, to mentally rehearse your success. Close your eyes and fully immerse yourself in the experience. Feel the emotions as though the event is happening right now. The more you rehearse, the stronger the neural pathways in your brain will become. Align your actions as you mentally rehearse your desired future. Start taking small actions that align with your vision. While mental rehearsal prepares your brain and body, it's essential to back it up with action. These actions reinforce the mental work you've been doing, helping to manifest your desired outcome in the physical world. Trust the process. Lastly, trust the process. Mental rehearsal doesn't always yield immediate results. It requires patience and belief. Keep refining your mental rehearsal practice, and over time, you'll begin to notice changes in your thoughts, emotions, and experiences. The reason most people struggle to change isn't a lack of desire. It's because they're addicted to their old self. Over time, the body becomes conditioned to certain emotions like stress, worry, or frustration. These emotions become ingrained in our biology, making it difficult to break free from them, even when they no longer serve us. This addiction to the old self is often stronger than any conscious desire for change. The first step to breaking free is awareness. Once you recognize these old patterns, you can begin to interrupt them and choose to think, act, and feel differently. True transformation happens when you align your thoughts and emotions. You don't have to wait for your circumstances to change. You can change internally first. This alignment creates a new frequency, a new state of being that attracts new experiences into your life. When your thoughts and emotions are in harmony, you start to vibrate at a new level. This shift in frequency will begin to reflect in your external reality. The more consistent this alignment becomes, the more the universe responds to your new state of being. Awareness. Start by observing your thoughts and emotions. Identify patterns that keep you stuck in old behaviors and reactions. Mental rehearsal. Visualize the new version of yourself. Feel the emotions associated with your ideal future, and practice this daily. Emotional reconditioning. Practice new emotions. If you've been conditioned to feel anxiety, practice feeling calm or confident. Align mind and body. Make sure your thoughts and emotions match. If they're out of sync, take a moment to recalibrate. Step into your new identity. Begin living as though your desired future is already your present reality. Let your thoughts, actions, and emotions reflect the person you're becoming.